Developed Arctic Radar Missile Detection System. I guess radar missile detection system is kind of the same thing as a golden dome. And Sweden deepened aerospace ties with Arctic security and focus. And this article details the efforts that the Canadian and the Swedish governments are making to align themselves in research and potentially sign a large contract for a Swedish fighter jet as a replacement for the F-35 American. Result of the election. The leadership profile of the House of Commons as it stands right now looks like this. The Speaker is George Fergus. Now this may change because the Parliament has not been recalled since the election. Newly elected Prime Minister for the Liberals, Mr. Mark Carney. The Leader of the Opposition will be Conservative member Andrew Scheer, who has been named interim Leader in the House of Commons by the Conservatives. And then the Government House Leader is Stephen McKinnon for the Liberals. And the Opposition House Leader is Andrew Scheer for the Conservatives. And the seat count is as follows. The Liberals at 170, the Conservatives at 143, the Bloc Québécois at 22, the New Democrats at 7, and the Greens at 1. Now these numbers changed slightly from the results on election night and what was reported in the days after the election, because there's been some recounts and some seats seesawed and landed differently than what was first suspected, and the Liberals have inched up to 170, which leaves them 2 seats shy of a majority. Now that makes a strategy possibility.
That the primary offense is really the offensive and needlessly offensive language from our president.
Now, I've got to give this mayor a little bit of credit. He's not sitting here blaming the economy, tariffs, the weather, or the exchange rate. He's actually acknowledging that Canadians are saying that the president is the issue. I've covered way too many reports where the government officials would feed their audience excuses about why Canadians are missing. Pretty much everything I said earlier. And they're always the completely wrong reasons. At least in this case. To the US viewers that he's talking to right now in this report, the real message was stated.
And while the Buy Canada trend has emerged, 1/3 of businesses are still reporting they have had orders paused due to tariffs and counter-tariffs.
This is why I keep saying we need to support local businesses. Right now, a lot of Canadian businesses that rely on US customers are in jeopardy. They don't even know how to price their products anymore. And if it gets too high, their customers will vanish. It's just like the business I featured a few videos back. And it's a reminder that we should always look locally instead of buying on Amazon or other US-based companies. One of my mods actually suggested that I should feature Canadian businesses at the end of my videos. I actually think it's a great idea. I just don't know which ones to highlight. So if you know of any Canadian small businesses that deserve a feature, and you're able to purchase online, send me an email with the details. I'll see what I can do.
You can come live here in Canada, and look, we get it, you've had a rough time. But before you pack up the U-Haul and head north, there are 11 things that you are going to have to learn. Number 1, the metric system. I'm sorry, but we are right on this one. In fact, you are only one of 3 countries in the world that has not officially adopted metric yet, and the other 2 are Liberia and Myanmar. Metric just makes sense. 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling, clean, simple. Fahrenheit was obviously invented by some drunk guy in Minnesota who thought 32 was nippy. Which brings me
In this video, I'm going to take you through a big abandoned house out in the country, somewhere in Alberta. And this one was a lot of fun. This was the first time I'd been out with a camera in over 7 months. The weather was great, and it was nice to get back out there. Over the past year or so, I visited a bunch of different abandoned locations. There was that old pump house by the river, a bunch of old industrial buildings. There was a potentially haunted hospital.
Arian and Mossy for listening. I'm your host, Michelle Robinson, speaking to you in Mohkinstsis in the Blackfoot Confederacy, home of the Niitsitapi, Sutina Dene, and the Yiharhi Nakota.
Channel and this comedian Julie Noak, and it was about Canada's boycott of American products. It was very funny. I liked her comedy, and I seen this. She had this other video called "When Trump Invades Canada," and yeah, thought I wanted to give it a watch, get a laugh.
Is closed for business because terrorists attacked foreign companies. Threats of annexation and invasion created new enemies, and now, by killing the de minimis rule, Trump has slammed the door completely shut the United States isn't just harder to trade with, it's isolated, locked in, and closed for business.
Modi is not returning Donald Trump's phone calls. Donald Trump has attempted to call Modi 4 times, begging Modi, or as Donald Trump says, begging like a dog for Modi to pick up, to try to make some sort of deal or arrangement, or that Donald Trump can try to save face after pushing India to form stronger alliances with China and elsewhere and to move away from the US. But Modi is not picking up the phone.